Why strong people walk alone. There is something you need to understand about strong people. They don't walk alone because they hate people. They don't walk alone because they failed at love. They don't walk alone because they are bitter. They walk alone because they finally learned the cost of carrying everyone else. And tonight, we're going to talk about that cost. The misunderstood silence. Strong people are often misunderstood. People see their silence and assume arrogance. They see their independence and assume ego. They see their distance and assume coldness. But what they don't see is the history. The nights they stayed up fixing problems that weren't theirs. The tears they hid so others could feel safe. The times they broke silently just to keep the peace. Strong people were not born distant. They were shaped that way. They were once the most loving. The strongest souls you know, they were once the softest hearts in the room. They loved deeply, trusted easily, gave endlessly. They believed loyalty was mutual. They believed effort would be returned. They believed honesty would be valued. But reality taught them something different. They learned that not everyone loves with the same depth. Not everyone sacrifices the same way. Not everyone protects what protects them. And that lesson changes you. The breaking point. Every strong person has a moment, a quiet moment, where they realize, I am tired. Tired of being the one who understands. Tired of being the one who forgives. Tired of being the one who fixes. There comes a day when they look around and notice something painful. They are surrounded but unsupported. That's the day something shifts. Not loudly, not dramatically, but permanently. They stop explaining themselves. Strong people walk alone because they no longer feel the need to explain who they are. They've tried that before. They've tried over-communicating, over-giving, over-proving, and still they were misunderstood. So now they let people misunderstand, because peace is more important than approval. And once you taste real inner peace, you stop begging to be understood. Solitude is not loneliness. Here is something powerful. Strong people don't fear being alone. They fear being surrounded by the wrong people. They understand the difference between solitude and loneliness. Loneliness is feeling unseen in a crowded room. Solitude is feeling whole in your own company. Strong people choose solitude because they finally learned how to sit with themselves. And when you become comfortable with your own mind, you become dangerous to anything that tries to control you. They value energy over attention. Weak minds crave attention. Strong minds protect energy. There is a difference. Strong people have felt what it's like to be drained by constant drama, by one-sided relationships, by emotional chaos disguised as passion. They don't want noise anymore. They want clarity. They don't want temporary excitement. They want alignment. And alignment is rare. So they would rather walk alone than walk misaligned. They learned it the hard way. Strength is not built in comfort. It is built in betrayal, in heartbreak, in abandonment, in disappointment. Every time someone they trusted walked away, they didn't collapse. They adapted. They became more self-reliant, more observant, more emotionally disciplined. And with each lesson, their circle became smaller. Not because they hate people, but because their standards rose. Their peace is expensive. Strong people guard their peace like treasure because they know how much it cost them to build it. It cost them relationships. It cost them illusions. It cost them versions of themselves that beg to stay. You don't destroy your own growth just to make others comfortable. You don't unlearn self-respect just to avoid being alone. So they choose the path that feels lighter, even if it looks lonelier. Independence is their survival skill. At some point in life, strong people realized no one is coming to save me. And instead of becoming bitter, they became capable. They learned to solve their own problems, comfort their own pain, motivate themselves when no one clapped. And when you learn to stand alone, you stop fearing abandonment, because you already know you can survive it. They refuse to beg. There's something different about strong people. They won't beg you to stay. They won't beg you to understand. They won't beg you to choose you. If you walk away, they let you. Not because it doesn't hurt, but because their dignity matters more than temporary attachment. And that kind of strength, it terrifies people who rely on emotional control. They see patterns quickly. Pain sharpens perception. Strong people notice red flags faster now. They hear tone shifts. They sense manipulation. They feel energy changes. And instead of arguing, they withdraw. Because arguing drains, explaining exhausts, proving is pointless. Walking away protects. Their circle is small but real. Strong people may walk alone, but when they choose someone, they choose deeply. They don't collect acquaintances, they build bonds. They don't chase crowds, they protect connections. Their circle is small because their loyalty is rare, and rare things are never common. They are focused on growth. While others chase validation, strong people chase evolution. They invest in skills, in healing, in discipline. They understand that the loudest rooms rarely produce the strongest minds. Growth often happens in silence, so they embrace it. The late nights, self-reflection, the uncomfortable truth. Because becoming powerful requires isolation sometimes. They don't fear starting over. Strong people have lost enough to know they can rebuild. They have rebuilt their hearts, their confidence, their dreams. So if something collapses again, they don't panic. They adjust. Walking alone isn't scary when you trust your ability to create again. They'd rather be alone than half-loved. This is the truth most people avoid. Strong people walk alone because they refuse to accept half-love, half-loyalty, half-effort, half-truth. They have felt what almost feels like, and they decided never again. If it's not real, it's not worth it. Alone, but not empty. Here is the difference. Strong people may walk alone, but they are not empty. They are full of lessons, full of boundaries, full of self-awareness. They don't need constant reassurance because they already did the internal work. They don't need applause because they validated themselves. Their strength is quiet, but unshakable. The quiet power. There is power in being okay alone, power in not chasing, power in not forcing, power in not settling. Strong people know this. The right people won't require you to shrink. The right love won't require you to beg. The right environment won't require you to fight for basic respect. So until that alignment arrives, they walk alone, not in sadness, but in certainty. Final truth. If you are walking alone right now, maybe it's not a punishment. Maybe it's preparation. Maybe life removed the noise so you could finally hear yourself. Maybe the solitude isn't emptiness. Maybe it's construction. Strong people walk alone because they trust the journey. They trust their resilience. And most importantly, they trust themselves.